Monster Forge here with a really quick review of two completely unrelated figures, other than the fact that they're retro styled 3 3/4 inch scale figures, and they're both Asians. It's just a fact. We've got Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and we have the fifth brother from Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I didn't care for one bit. Anyway, like I said, they're both retro styled action figures based on like the old Star Wars figures from the 70s and 80s. Check out Hammerhead giving you that ferocious side eye. Hey, ladies, would you focus for once? Just destroying every bit of joke I had there. Hey, ladies. All right, there. That's strained. Anyway, it's they're styled after the old Star Wars figures, and the old Indiana Jones figures, which were, you know, based around the same size and all. But the old Star Wars figures were Kenner figures, and a lot of people are collecting these retro figures. I like them a lot. I honestly got this guy because he was cheap, and I can think of some fun custom stuff I want to do with him. So that's why I got him. Don't really care about the character in this version. I liked him when he was in Rebels. I like that character, the style of his outfit and everything. I didn't think it really translated well, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, these are the figures that were retro. Yeah. Anyway, now on the other hand, I love Short Round. Short Round is like one of the very best elements of anything to do with the Indiana Jones universe. The Indiana Jones cinematic universe. And as we know, there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies. I don't care what anybody says, there's only 3. This package is not in the greatest shape, but this is the only one I found. I got this at Ollie's, and it was $3.99. So both of these figures are $3.99. That's another thing they have in common. It says these retailed at $10. I'm not sure. Kind of hard to believe that Hasbro, which it's a Hasbro product, it's got Kenner on the package because Kenner did the original line back in the day. But it's kind of hard to believe that Hasbro allowed a figure this size to go for $10 at retail. They like usually gouging the crap out of you for stuff. But anyway, $10 isn't bad for this scale figure. If you can find figures like this for $10, you're getting a pretty good, you know, it's not a bargain. I just say it's an okay value. But the cool thing about this is, just like with this guy over here, of course, this never existed in the original line because this character didn't exist back in the 70s or the 80s. But neither did Short Round, the toy of Short Round. They never made a figure of him, as far as I know. I don't remember anything beyond the first Indiana Jones, like the Raiders of the Lost Ark. They did figures of like Indy, the German pilot, tough guy, mechanic, whatever it was. The swordsman, the Cairo swordsman. I think they did, what was his name, Salah. I know they did Belloc, and they did Toth. I can't remember saying. Oh, and Marion Ravenwood, and of course Indy. But I think that's all that they made. They had like a couple of horses too, because the Indy figures were made to be able to sit on the horses, and I think you can see, yeah, like they continued the line with this retro line to do like the Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, and also Last Crusade. Thankfully, I haven't seen that they've done like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, you know, the movie that doesn't exist, and then the Dial of Dip stickery. They didn't have those figures, I don't think. But neither one of these figures, as far as I remember, I don't think they existed back in the day. So these are new, I believe. But anyway, you can see like the indie figure is made like the old ones, where the hips are. It's like the hips are cut at an angle, and he's got knees, so that when you move his legs forward, they kind of go out, so you can sit on a horse, which was always a cool little concept. And if I'm not mistaken, the original figures, I never had Indiana Jones. I think they had like a spring-loaded arm thing or something where you pull his gun. I can't remember. But anyway, this isn't about Indy. This is about Short Round, who's the best. Oh, he doesn't have a Yankees logo on his... I guess for licensing they couldn't, but it's in the picture. I don't know how the licensing works. But anyway, let's get these guys out of the package, and we'll take a look at the fifth brother here. He's one of the Inquisitors. And they first popped up in, if I'm not mistaken, they first popped up in Rebels, the animated. Good Lord. The animated series. And that's a pretty sweet figure. Feels really good. There's just something about the old, like, vintage style figures that just feel good in the hand. Like the way the joints are, they're just nice and sturdy. I mean, it's pretty convincing that this looks like a figure that would have been back in the day. I don't know about the shininess of it, but then, you know, most of the figures you have in hand, they aren't completely shiny because of the age on them. But, I mean, he seems convincing. The details are at a level that, you know, look like would have existed back then. What year does Hammerhead have on him? Does it say? 19... I can't really read it. I can't read it. But I want to say they were like 77, 78 or something like that. Oh, yeah, 70, 78. So yeah, these figures would have been out in 78, and this is not the original Hammerhead I had when I was a kid. This is one I found at a comic book shop a few years ago. He was always my favorite old Star Wars figure just because he had so much personality to his sculpt. And a lot of times when people are doing the retro styled figures, they don't quite get that same level, which not every Star Wars figure was as detailed and nice as Hammerhead, with the little veins and the subtle texture everywhere. Oh, it's such a beautiful figure, the sculpt on him. I can't help but gush about Hammerhead. He was always my favorite. Anyway, no, but the fifth brother, I keep wanting to say other brother. The fifth brother is really nice. Like, he's got that nice, thick, sturdy joint. You know, it's almost like a clicky. It has an indent there, or detent, or whatever. But he has 5 points of articulation, articulated at the neck, the shoulders, they're cut joints, the hips. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of articulation. And he comes with the lightsaber that they have, the Inquisitors have. Is there a particular way? Yeah, like one side of it's flat and one's round. So I don't know. I guess I'd have it like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty nice. Pretty nice figure. I didn't buy him for him. I bought him to make something out of him, but he's a pretty nice figure. I can't, you know, I can't complain about him. If you like this character, if you like the show, you know, it's pretty good. If you go to Ollie's, they got almost all of their retro Star Wars figures for like $3.99 a piece, and considering that I think they retail right around 10 or $9 or something like that. $4 ain't bad. But that's him. Nice figure. Now let's get on to the star of the show here, which is I can't remember the actor's name, like Kiku Luke or something like that. I can't remember. I'm sorry, but he's Short Round to me, and he'll always be Short Round, and he's Data to me. But anyway, Data, no data, you know, love that guy. But yeah, I don't give a crap about keeping thing on the card because it's a toy, and toys deserve to live, darn you. Okay. Well, I can see something that automatically would not fit for that time period of these figures. Oh, the neck is kind of, that joint's trapped between the two pieces, so it kind of slowly comes back forward. I don't like that, but the arms go around. The arms are a little loose, the hips. But something, oh, they gave him the indie hips, but no knees. See, it's got the kind of V-cut crotch there. I don't know what kind of date, what date did they put on this? 2023, Hasbro, Vietnam. Well, it's another Asian connection. Anyway, yeah, the most of the time the vintage style figures like that wouldn't have had a flexible like coat or shirt or whatever. It would have been sculpted in hard plastic, but I mean, I like it. It's got a good look. It just doesn't really feel like, I mean, everything else about it feels like a vintage figure. And don't get me wrong, I like it. I really, really like it a lot. He's got his little torch, and he's cool. It's a neat, like, he's got a good feel because he's tiny, and so, like, you know, he's not a very tall guy. Well, he's a kid, you know, so it's pretty accurate. He stands just a little bit more than 3 inches, and like these guys, like the regular guys, are like, well, he's almost 4, because I guess he's just a really tall guy. But most Star Wars figures are like right around like 3 3/4, so they're like this tall. So he's just a smidge taller. But yeah, just really cool figures, and you know, $4 a piece. That's not bad. I mean, how can you pass up figures that have this kind of personality to them for $4? And you know, for $8, I now have a new adventure that I can live out. The fifth brother guiding short round around the temples, fighting the evil hammerhead.